Hey, happy Friday. Uh, Hope everyone had a great week, and we're going to have a great weekend. For this video, I thought we would do something a little different. I don't normally I go out to the ranch and we feed the goats and we see the goats and they're cute and all that fun stuff. But I've had this channel now for about a month, and I thought it may be a good time to kind of reflect on what I've learned so far and answer some subscriber questions. I've gotten a few questions, so Keith asked for watching this, JG, Cherish from Hope's Homestead, and all the others have asked me questions. I'm going to try to answer questions on this video. Before I really get going, I know when I first started this channel, I did put out a video saying why I farm, and yes, I do it for family and legacy, and it's my passion. I want to do it for the rest of my life, full time eventually. Right, that's the goal. But the YouTube channel itself, and kind of what kind of pushed the timeline and got me going on this, the credit's got to go to Rich over at Tennessee Homestead. And not enough nice things can be said about Rich. And I've personally never met him. We've had our little back and forth on a couple comments, and I've seen his videos, and I like to think that I think I'm a good judge of character, and he seems like a great person. But a few months back, maybe 2-3 months, I was big into wanting to get cattle. I was all about cows and calves and steers, and that's kind of the direction I wanted to go because I grew up, in dairy country and beef cow country in Iowa County in Michigan, and I lived right on a farm there. So that was kind of my tunnel vision before I got to goats. And I was just looking around on the internet, looking around on YouTube, and I found a video. And I know Rich lately came out with Cattle 101, and he's got another one out. I don't know if it's Cattle 102 or Cattle 201 or however he worded it. But he had an older one where he had a section where he was talking about raising up calves and then keeping your unit cost down so you make more profit. It was a great little video. It was a good chunk. I don't know if that was the whole video. Sorry, Rich, I don't 100% remember what the whole video was about, but that definitely stuck out to me as your way of thinking, way of talking, and making everything clear. So I love that video. So that kind of got me hooked on Tennessee Homestead. And then there was another video that came out where he was talking about, and again, I don't know the titles to these, but you can pick a Tennessee Homestead video. It's not a bad video to watch, so you can just keep looking until you find it. But it was about homesteading and waiting to homestead. Why wait? Why are you waiting? Don't procrastinate, kind of a thing. And that kind of spoke volumes to me. And I thought Rich is exactly right. And while watching his videos, I actually put out my ad looking for property to rent for farming. And so I really got to give all the credit to him. He's the one who kind of kicked my butt into gear and got it going. So I just want to put a shout out, like I said, to Rich over at Tennessee Homestead. And I'm almost positive that all the people that are subscribed to me are definitely subscribed to Rich. But if you're not, you really need to go over and see Rich and subscribe to his channel because he puts out amazing content. He's a great person just to listen to talk, with your morning coffee, which is what we're doing right now. So, all right, so let's get down to it. What have I learned in this last month or so? Actually, we'll talk more about the practical knowledge because obviously I read a lot and did my research on goats and kind of figured out where I wanted to get with that. But the biggest thing I learned about was actually meeting up with other farmers or other hobby farms or whatever to actually buy goats, and that was the biggest kind of learning curve because I just wanted to get the ideal buck, right? When I was looking for the buck, I wanted to get a registered 100% boar, and they were like $600, $800 with crazy lineage registered. And then as I was researching and thinking about it, okay, my advice to someone getting into meat goats, you do not need to buy registered livestock. You just don't got to do it. You want a quality buck, quality. You don't need a registered. You want a buck that has if you can see his father and grandfather, they're a fast-growing animal. and they're a quality animal, they're healthy animals, that's a good animal to buy, and you can get them for a fraction of the price of a registered buck. Same thing with does. If she comes from a long line of proven mothers, and they consistently give twins or triplets, and they're great moms, that's passed down through generations. If you can find those things, then those are the ones to look for when you're first starting out. Now, if later on you want to get into selling registered stock and 100% and all that good stuff, that is great, because those bring a lot of money. But if you're first getting started and you don't want to drop thousands of dollars on goats, then I would suggest just finding quality animals that'll give you quality kids. That's just right up front. Quality animals that'll give you quality kids. That's my biggest thing for buying. And then transporting, obviously, you don't need to go out and buy crazy trailers. You don't got to go buy crazy contraption cages. I use I got a huge dog crate that I use, and it's worked great. I strap it in there, and I don't drive like a madman, but I put it up part of the cab and keep the wind down, because wind's the worst thing you can do. They can get wind blindness, and there's a ton of bad things that can happen, but pick a nice day, put the crate in the truck, or I guess if you got a van, I've had them in the truck before. I don't suggest it, but you do what you got to do. And just go out and buy yourself a goat. Now, Keith S., he's asked a few questions on my last few videos. One question was, he's asked about my supplements, because he's thinking about getting into goats and he wants to be prepared. So Keith, this little section is for you and for everybody else who wants to get into goats. But what I've come to learn so far, feeding my own small herd of goats. As you've seen in my videos, I don't know what your property's like, Keith, or whoever else is getting goats. I don't know what your property's like, but you've seen mine. It's very lush and green, tall grasses, tall lush grass. There's a lot of grass. We've gotten a good rain this spring already, so it's grown up a lot. Or is it summer now? I don't even know, but we get a lot of growth. So I let them out, and I let them naturally forage on all that they can eat. And then I supplement that with hay, and then I do supplement with some grain. I don't like to get too crazy with the grain, because it's not cost effective for me. You know, a lot of meat producers like to do just natural supplement with hay, but if you want to grow kids up steady and healthy, you know, I suggest supplementing with grain. So the rule of thumb, from what I can tell, is they need to have what they call it, I would say it's dry matter. What they call so 3.5% of their body weight has to be dry material. So it'd be, if they're constantly if they're naturally foraging and eating green grass, there's a lot of water in that. So if we're in every pound of that, say 80% of it's water, so they get 20%, or that would be dry if you were to wring it out. So they'd have to eat about 5 pounds of that to get a pound of dry material, dry food. That's why you supplement with hay. Hay is like a 90% dry, 10% water kind of a deal, and that's how you get that 3.5%. Protein is important, and that's why they actually use supplement with concentrates or grain. You know, you want to have about a 15% protein in their daily diet. Sometimes you can get quality hay, like a legume hay, and that has a lot of protein. If you just get regular, like around here, it's just a lot of grass and alfalfa. I mean, if you can get quality horse hay, you're even one step closer, but you're going to want to definitely keep track of your animals and supplement your proteins when necessary. And you can do a lot of research on that. Like I said, I give, because Toby's growing and so is Belle, I give about a pound of grain a day. And then Luna, I try to give only a couple cups, because she doesn't need it. She naturally can get what she needs from the grass, from the hay, you know, and just supplement a little bit, because the hay is good hay. It's not, you know, the best for protein. So I hope that kind of answered your question. So if just, for instance, if they're 100-pound goats, 3.5% of their body weight, 3.5 pounds of dry material, that's what they need to be getting in their diet a day. So I hope that helps, man. Oh, and mineral. You asked if I use a mineral block, or if I use loose. And I just do loose mineral for them. I just let them free eat that. I put it in it's just in a bucket, bottom of a bucket, and they're not just going to sit there and eat that. They eat it when they need it, so I don't worry too much with that. That and the hay, obviously the grass is all free fed, and then I just give them the grain every day. Fresh water, obviously, is common sense. For about every 100 pounds of body weight, they're going to drink about a gallon of water. So you can kind of figure that math out pretty easy for yourself. Another question, actually, Keith asked was when I let them out and I let them free run around and eat and stuff, do they come right back when I call them? If I train them to do that? No, not at all. Toby doesn't ever go very far. He'll only go about 20, 25 feet away from me at all times. If I walk around, he's kind of constant. He's kind of following me. The girls, I guess I kind of got them trained because I'll just put some grain in that pot. You'll see I'll have to throw the pot out there. But I use that because I can jingle the grain around. They hear it and they come running. And I'll just walk in the gate and shut them in there. So kind of trained, Keith. They're kind of trained. I had another gentleman, sorry for not, a JG, asked about fencing and that kind of things. And I've learned a lot about fencing. I thought when you hear, goats are escape artists, I thought some of those were like old wives' tales or kind of like fishing stories. Like they're very exaggerated. No, they're not. Goats are escape artists. They'll go under, they'll go over, they'll rub, they will find a weak spot in that fence. So my suggestion is to the new goat owners, as I've learned, is an electric fence is priceless. 3-strand electric fence keeps them right in there. A couple good zaps, they learn it, they stay away from it. It works great. So electric fence, I think, is a must. You may think otherwise, which is fine, but for me and my setup, electric fence was the game changer because I was chasing those things around for the first couple days until I turned on that fence and made sure make sure the strands, I have one that's about 8 inches off the ground, one in the middle, and one on the top, and keeps them going under, keeps them going over. Works great. Another thing I've learned is constant contact with your animals. You gotta constantly be checking on them. You want to make sure they're getting what they need to eat, they're getting their water. You just want to make sure they're happy. Head up, tail up kind of a deal. Make sure they're happy. Constant contact with the animals. I mean, yes, I'm growing this herd so I can send the babies off to slaughter, and it sounds brutal and all, but you still gotta have good lives, and you want to take good care of them. You want a happy animal, so being in constant contact and kind of talking to them, petting on them and things, I think is a must. And so I try to go out of my way to kind of show them I care, if that makes sense. Now a little bit about my future plans here. I know I've talked about some, and I've been really busy, but I'm hoping now I can actually get down to a lot of it. Is I'm going to expand the ranch. The rental ranch needs to be bigger because I was thinking about, because where I live now in the city, they allow me to have 2 goats in my backyard since it's fenced. They'll allow me to have 2 goats right there. And I was thinking about getting some of those Nigerian dwarfs, the small, they're actually kind of a dual purpose breed, but meat and milk. But if I put 2 does out here and I put a buck on the rental ranch, I can separate Toby from the females because eventually it's going to have to happen anyways. And then he'll have a friend, they'll have 2 does here, 2 bucks, and I want to get 4 more Bordeaux's out on the ranch. So that's kind of another expansion. But fencing is coming up. I'm not this weekend, but next weekend. I plan on getting out there expanding because eventually I want to get that whole 7 acres fenced so I can do some rotational grazing and again keep my costs down on my hay, keep my costs down on my mineral things of that nature. Keep all the costs down on the grain because it is a business for me. I mean, yes, it's a hobby too, and I thoroughly enjoy doing it. But eventually, I want to be able to make some money doing this as well. Let's see what else we got here. I made myself a little note. Yeah, and then I've kind of thought about the Nigerian goats, and I don't know if anyone here has done it. Drop me a line about making goat milk soap. Because my skin gets real tight and nasty when I use soaps and things of that nature. And I thought maybe I'd give it a shot. I've heard it's good for your skin. So just kind of an eyeball comment. Just throwing it out there. If you've used it, let me know. If you've made it, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. I'll do some research into, but I like to hear it right from the horse's mouth, I guess they say. Yeah, that's kind of where we're at now and kind of the current state of things. Cherish from Hope's Homestead kind of asked. I kind of gave her a little short answer, but I do go to my ranch a minimum of every other day. And then when I am not there, the lovely people I rent from have 2 younger girls, early high school, late middle school, and they go out in the morning and they'll feed him and throw some grain out, and if I'm not there, they'll throw some grain out at night. So that's been a great. It's been a blessing to have those guys to help me out like that. Because it is a drive. It's about 25 miles from right here, so it takes me a minute to get out there. But I'm not complaining because it's still a better deal than going out and mortgaging a bunch of land and trying to put up fencing and barns and a house. So this has been great. So no complaints here. Even if I drove every day, I'd still come way under what it would cost to buy a good chunk of land with the mortgage and put everything on it. So been grateful, and I think that's about all I have for this video. Just kind of thought I would talk with you. Sorry if you get bored staring at my face the whole time, but hopefully you get something out of this. And it's supposed to be a beautiful weekend, so I'll try to get out and get some videos of the goats just doing what they do. And I hope everyone has a great weekend, and I'll talk to y'all soon. See ya.